absolute mess that she's seen me in. As we do.
I'm enjoying it, quite frankly.
This is the story of my life, pretty much. I'm not generally a very together person when it comes to things going right. But I always think yin and yang. There's always positive and negative, and an equal amount is what I'm happy with. It's all about balance. Amy moved to London at the age of 19 to pursue her acting training. She works between the UK and Ireland and is currently playing the role of Adele in Coronation Street. And how do you pronounce it? Jarl?
Jarl.
Jarl Rolf.
Yeah,
it's like a dog. Rolf.
Basically, you can pronounce it any way you want.
And last year you appeared in the new Jason Bourne movie alongside Matt Damon, Alicia Vikander and Tommy Lee Jones. Absolutely crazy. When you hear that list of things, do you go, what now?
Yeah,
it must be amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. It's good, but like every other actor, it comes in peaks and troughs, and so it's amazing, and it sounds amazing on paper. But when you're living it, it's kind of like trying to strike the balance between kind of living the exciting moments and then being okay with the down moments and the quiet times as well. So, but it's great, and it's been leading to more work. I'm going to be appearing in Line of Duty for the BBC, but of course I've signed an NDA, so I can't really say anything. But it expands. Yeah, sorry, I just thought I just teased you there. But so it's great. And every year you see the progression, and like I'm sure it's the same with you in your job. You see the progression, but again, it's dealing with, that it sounds amazing and people go, you're doing so well, and you're going, yeah, but then
I had a job in 3 months. That's on TV right now, but I haven't had a job in 3 months.
Exactly. Like, I'm just waiting for this thing, or I didn't get the thing I wanted, the other thing, and, so it's a lot.
Because I have a lot of friends who are actors as well, and there is that, those moments where they are like, why am I doing this? But I guess with acting and with anything kind of in that field of arts, it is that belief in, I couldn't do anything else.
Yes, definitely.
Was that always what it was for you? Were you always in that kind of mindset of, oh my God, I am an actor, so this is the only thing I can do? Yeah,
there was just no other option. Like when since I've been 3, I've been like, when I was 3, I used to act out scenes from Annie in my back garden. Amazing. And my mum would just find me, and I've sort of always, acting has just been a huge part of me. So there was no other option. And even after I did my Leaving Cert, there was kind of nothing to do. Like there was no real drama schools at that time in Ireland, like one maybe, but so I then decided to do English in Trinity. I left after about a month and then auditioned for drama schools in London. So it was kind of like, even when I tried to do something that was a little bit related but not, I couldn't no.
And when do you remember one role that kind of stood out for you where you felt like it gave you such a lift, not just necessarily in terms of career but personally, where you went, oh wow, I'm actually good at this is something that I can get into that character and I can really fulfill what I want to do?
God, there's actually there's been a couple of occasions, like my most actually Line of Duty that we're shooting at the moment. That was I can't really talk about, but that was the first kind of time that really, the creator and writer was kind of giving me good feedback, and I felt really equipped to take on certain scenes that maybe 10 years ago I might have felt a bit overwhelmed, but all the experiences up until this point had given me kind of the confidence to really go for it. And then in a kind of a smaller way, when I wrote my first ever one-woman show, I remember kind of getting a sense of being able to hold an audience on my own, on stage for an hour, and really kind of going, oh, hang on, yeah, no. And that was probably the point where I was like, no, there's definitely nothing else I can do. Like, I have to only do this.
It has to. I totally relate to that. I did a documentary 2 years ago, and I remember watching it back and being like, yeah, I'm happy with it. But there was also, I had this sense of imposter syndrome, looking back and like, not really, I'm faking this in a way. And it was only when I made a second one that I felt like, oh no, this is what I have to do. This is what I'm most comfortable doing. Exactly. In a way, so I totally get that. And you were in probably one of the most iconic music videos for Codeline in terms of their history, because I always say, Codeline, an amazing band, they've done some incredible things, but if they didn't have that video for All I Want, I don't know how it would have catapulted maybe as big as it did. It was such an incredible music video.
It was a beautiful video, and that's again testament to the team that were involved in it, and it was again someone just believing in me, like Stevie Russell, the director, just approached me and was like, would you be, and Mike Donnelly, they were kind of like, would you be interested? And I loved the concept concept and I loved doing it. And again, I remember when I was like a teenager, I'd be like, I really want to be in like a music video, and I'd have like the idea of like what the music video would be. So when I saw it on MTV, I remember that was a big like, oh my god. I know I remember Fern Cotton tweeted it, and I was like, oh, this is amazing, you know, like, and it's such a small little thing in the sense of like a bigger career. Completely. But that's one of those things where you're like, yeah, that's a little tick on my little list of things.
What's the world of Corrie like when you're in the midst of it?
It's like any other job. Like it's mad, but it's such a homely atmosphere. They all are genuinely lovely. They're a real family atmosphere, and it's real. It's in Manchester, so it feels very Dublin in the sense that
I lived in Manchester for a little while.
Yeah, and they're kind of all like driving into work and driving home, and they have their lives outside of it, and so it was great, but very surreal. Like walking the cobbles is very surreal, and seeing the Rovers return is very kind of surreal.
It's quite easy to immerse yourself in that character, because when you get there, it does feel like you're stepping into another world.
Oh, totally, and and I remember the director was the guy with me who was also knew he was going, I mean, how big can we play this? And he was like, oh, this is Corrie. He was like, you can't go too big. Like you just like, okay. So everyone's kind of there to have fun, and they know kind of the scale of it as well.
So what can we look forward to? Obviously, you just mentioned there NDAs. We can't be talking about everything.
I know. Why did I sound that NDA? But no. So we're doing Line of Duty. I'm going to be in Bridget and Eamon on RTE.
Amazing.
Yeah, which I'm really excited about.
Two of my 2FM buddies. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're so lovely. Like literally the nicest. And then next year I'll be touring my show ICU, which is written by me and is also stars me and another actress.
Made by me, all by me. Amazing. Yeah. Congratulations on that, because that's obviously a huge undertaking to do your own show. And that sort of stuff. So absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for coming in and having a chat with us.
Not at all. Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. And to everybody as well for tuning in over the last 2 hours. I really appreciate just being here. There's such an incredible atmosphere and so many amazing conversations that have been happening all week long, but it doesn't end now. So do stick with us here on Walk in My Shoes Radio. I've been Stephen Byrne. Let's take this. One of my favourite songs ever. Everybody wants to rule the world. This is Tears for Fears.